Yeah. Right?
Hey there, I'm Pops, and I want to talk to you about 1883, Paramount Plus's show. It is a prequel to Yellowstone. Link is in the description for my Yellowstone comments. Have had my thoughts and opinions on Yellowstone. Take it for what it is. Spoiler alert on 1883. I like this a lot more than Yellowstone. Now, I'm a big fan of Westerns, big fan of Old West, big fan of that type of storytelling. The survivalists of its time, humans overcoming the challenges, making you think about like how would you survive, the interesting elements of the culture and the dynamics, some of which are true or exaggerated, doesn't matter to me, because I just want to try to explore it a little bit more. And I'm not getting caught up in like some of the minutia. Like I got it. Nobody's teeth were as good looking as Faith Hill and Tim McGraw's in the show. I got it. I'm not going to criticize the teeth. I get it. Right. Here's the thing. Do you like good storytelling? Because anything that involves Taylor Sheridan right now appears to be at the top of the heap. That's for sure. And this show really delivered in a lot of different ways. It had all interesting characters and great performances. I remember, so shout out first and foremost to Matt, the Unbearable 73. I'll put a hat tip in there for you, buddy, in the comments. People go check out his stuff. He's doing a episodic review of From season 2, which I haven't watched yet, buddy, because I'm behind. I got to catch up. But I've enjoyed season 1 of that show. And he recommended this. He said I would like it. I messaged him about how good Tim McGraw was. He's like, hey, right? And I'm like, yeah, it was. It's a very simple story, right? Family is leaving from Tennessee to Texas, gather their wherewithals, and they're going to migrate and go out west, go north, find their own stake in the world, and live that quote, that American dream that was sort of part of this nation's history. And you get a little bit of everything. Sam Elliott plays this widowed, sad old man, a captain post Civil War, who's just beaten down, lost his wife and kid to smallpox. He'd been in the Union Army and just can't do it, right? He's ready to like end it all, and he stopped at the last minute by his closest friend Thomas, who is a Pinkerton. LaMonica Garrett is fantastic, by the way. And they basically decide they're going to take the job to move all these migrants and immigrants there. They need protection, they need education. They have no idea how to survive, right? And again, it's a Yellowstone prequel. So Tim McGraw's character is James Dutton, and he and his wife Margaret, they got a couple kids. They got a sister. It's a Margaret's sister is a widow, and then the one daughter, Elsa. And Elsa is the main character. She's the protagonist. She's the narrator. It's her story, her journey. You're seeing her eyes open as the trek moves from station to station through the story. So from Tennessee to what? Oh my gosh, I'm seeing the first real city and town, this dangerous area in Fort Worth, Texas, right? And then as she gets out into the open, she talks about how the air smells and how everything feels, and watching people struggle for the first time, and then being called into action. They need someone that can ride a horse, so her dad volunteers her to basically be a cowgirl, right? And then she falls in love, and then she has to deal with tragedy, and you have to deal with so much death and chaos, and the dangers that are behind every rock and every tree, everything. It's just a great show. I don't know that I have a complaint. I really don't. I really loved it. I loved and cared about tertiary characters, not just the ones that are the main ones. So here's one of the trailers that gives us a little bit of footage that we can kind of see and give you a little bit of the look on a couple things here. Um, let's see here. Yeah, so this is the first time we get introduced to James. Now, Sam Elliott character there. So they're up on this hill and they're watching this covered wagon being chased, and they're clearly trying to rob him, right? And he's very, very clever, and they're just watching him get attacked. He uses his wits about him. He can handle a gun. Through the course of the season, we understand what his backstory is. We understand why he is the warrior that he is, and yet trying to be a man of principle. Fantastic stuff. Just really, really good. Yeah, this is him talking back to them, which is funny.
For the help. You for the help. See, I'll just sit and watch.
You look like you had it figured.
Yeah, see, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to help him. Hey, it's funny. Then in town is a mess. He's just trying to find someone who watch wagon, and the guy's like, "Well, I can't promise they won't get robbed." And like, well, the peace of mind is what I'm paying for. So there's some really good elements there. And then just the risks. The risks are really played out pretty well. You understand, reunion of your family, being away from them for so long, trying to find, bonding, and also just survival, just trying to make it through. Yeah, there's Elsa, and then beautiful scenery, just beautiful shots, things like that. Here's some of the natives, some of the different scenes. Here's that amazing shot of the wagon train. You can see how big it is. I've read that some of them they'll do 2 lines and can go on for miles. This is part of the problem. They couldn't get everybody to move. Like, you know how hard it is to get humans to do anything? Imagine something like this. You'd always have laggers. You'd always have people being rebels, being stupid, irresponsible, kids misbehaving. It would just be a complete calamity to just go a few miles a day. Yeah, it'd be crazy. Yeah, there's just great characters. They have a cookie. They hire a cook, a chef. Faith Hill's fine. She's probably one of the more least interesting characters because her arc is very, very narrow. She has a little bit of an arc. And basically what you just get the woman that's the matriarch of her little family trying to figure out how to survive and protect them, but she has no control over what her husband's doing, what her daughter's doing. She's also extremely adept at doing all these things. So she can drive the wagon, she can shoot people, she's smart, she's also sympathetic, all those kinds of things. She's probably the least interesting character among the main characters. I love the fact that there's like this great dynamic with the two of them. There's like one of the gypsy girls, the immigrants, loses her husband, and then she tries to flirt with Sam Elliott's character. That doesn't work. So she flirts with the other guy, and the other guy kind of like takes her in, and they become a thing. But it's done in a very sweet and natural and a reluctant way. It's never exploitive. I liked it a lot. Sam Elliott's character at times, I don't always understand his irrational response to something. His strategy is to lash out with like being authoritarian. He can just bully and yell and scream at people into getting them to do what he wants them to do so they'll survive. The reality is humans just don't operate like that. And even the ones that do, it's not going to be the majority of people. So, you apply that much pressure, you're going to end up pushing certain people to act out. You're going to lose them, which at times he seems like he gets, and other times he doesn't seem like he gets. But this guy's performance was great. Just fantastic. Flashback sequence to the war. Just beautiful scenery shots. Just truly tremendous stuff all the way around. Let's see what this is. Yeah, just great cuts of different elements that are in the show. And I will say this is partly what makes this show work really well, is it has a beginning and an end. There's no like cliffhanger ending or whatever. This is a nice self-contained story. We have a journey, we have characters that we follow. We move them from point A to point B, we change them. There's a lot of tragedy. There's also a lot of hope. There's things there that set up what would be the next family story that would lead to the Yellowstone family, and so on and so forth. So I couldn't recommend this. So this is possibly, and again, I know I'm not watching this in real time, but this is probably one of the best things I've watched all year. Totally recommend it, especially if you love Westerns. If you love Westerns, I don't know why you haven't watched it. It is way more enjoyable as a Western than even Yellowstone. Yellowstone is like, there's like a ton of screen time just wasted on just like cowboy propaganda. There's no real story. It's just cowboys just doing cowboy stuff, which I'd rather just watch a real rodeo or something instead of watching that. But anyway, that's just me. So tell me what you guys think about 1883. Tell me what you think about 1923. I'm going to watch that and give you my thoughts on that as well. I appreciate you so much in your time. I am Pops.